Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm taking another important question, what we do in daily stand-up calls. So normally the daily stand-up calls are run by Scrum Master, but if we don't have dedicated Scrum Master in the team, um, business analysts run the daily stand-up calls. So whether you are business analyst or Salesforce business analyst, so you may need to ask to run the daily stand-up calls. So what we do in daily stand-up calls. So firstly, you share your screen by sharing the current sprint board in Azure DevOps or any other tool which your team might be using. Secondly, you set up the stage by informing where we are currently in the sprint cycle. Thirdly, you communicate if there is any important communication needs to pass on to the team. Fourthly, you check the status on the progress on the work on which team is working on. Basically, you ensure that team is meeting the deadlines and discuss if there are any roadblocks to complete the assigned task. So let me give you a small demo of uh, Springboard in Azure DevOps and what are the different stages which user story uh, moves from one stage to another stage. So here is the example of one of my sprint, and you can see that it is filtered out by sprint 9, and here are the stories that have been considered in that particular sprint, and you can see there but different swim lanes or stages, you can say requirement analysis, ready for pointing, ready for dev research, development, dev review, dev complete. So these stages or lanes have been determined by the project manager or senior project manager, and it may differ, but 90% of these stages will be similar in all projects. So let me give you some more details about ready for dev. So basically, and these user stories which are in ready for dev, the user stories have been groomed and the bonding has been completed on the user stories, and can be picked up by the implementation team or means development team, uh, and they can start work on these user stories. So no additional questions or requirement additional information is required on this user stories, but they haven't picked up the work yet, and once they will start working on it, they can move the user story to development stage. Here you can see there's a dev research lane. So there are few user stories in dev research. So basically, some user story requires some more analysis work, and it cannot be completed in that particular sprint, but they will do the analysis work, and once the analysis work is being completed, it can be moved to next sprint for the completion. So and the team is working on in that particular sprint, and they're doing the analysis work. And you can see there is another lane called development, so where the team is currently working on these user stories, and the work is in being process under process. Or dev review, so basically dev team is reviewing those user stories, and so but none of the user stories are in dev review. So and dev complete, once the user stories are completed, they move to dev complete. So once we meet the deadline of development work, and whatever user stories have been completed during that time, we move those user stories and push the user stories to QA, and then we give then dev team will give the demo to the QA team, and QA team will do the testing and provide the sign off on those user stories. And once the sign off is being done by the QA team, we move the user stories to UAT environment, where we give a demo to the business users, and business users will do the testing in the UAT environment and provide sign off. Once the sign off is being completed in the UAT environment, um, uh, then we move the changes to the production environment. And once all the users, whatever user stories being moved to production environment, we close the user stories. That's how the cycle goes for user stories in any particular sprint. So I hope you like the content of this video. Please let me know if you have any question or any feedback or any doubt. I will be happy to answer your question. And thanks for connecting with me. And I will connect with you again in my next video. Thank you.